Good evening, and welcome to Damage Does D&D. This week, episode... Shit. Lots. Thank you. Of the Elusive Tide. Our pirate-themed campaign, run by the wonderful Jade. I will hand you straight over.
Okay, so last we left off, if I can, there we go, and that, and then that. Last we left off, you had arrived in Deephorn Shanty, discovering it in shambles, if you will, after an attack which appeared to be from the Blue Blades, an organisation that Captain Phineas seems to have some kind of history with. After being requested to speak with Lord Bazorn, the Amazu that runs the shanty, Phineas, Aldris, and Lack went and interrogated one Alphonsus Grent, I believe his name was. It's one of those names where I just smashed together letters. Yes, Alphonsus Grent. And discovered that this seemed to be a direct attack by the Blue Blades, though a more suicidal mission. And it also seemed, as far as the Blue Blades were aware, Phineas was dead. After some shenanigans of Balkin turning into a squid in the middle of the port of pirates who hate squids, you came up with a plan to enter Tal Hazar and hunt down the leader of the Blue Blades, a man by the name of Kai Shun. Your plan was to infiltrate as a merchant vessel, disguise the Elusive Tide with a new captain in the form of Quarantine and a new first mate in the form of Balkan. How this will play out, we are yet to see, but we shall get back into it. So, what is your plan? I'll go into the description. You're sailing up, and you can see Tal Hazar forming in the distance. You can see these tall cliffs with buildings scattered across them, up and down. You can see, because you're approaching kind of from the south, you can see this large cliffy island with a huge fortress built on top of it. And then you kind of get a glimpse of the very northern spit of the coast, and you can see this huge tree sat at the very northern peak of the land of the city. So, as you're sailing in, what is your plan, Captain and Captain?
Captains. Well, I'll in my office I will begin undressing myself. How does my
So fast in the episode it happens.
Yes, I will take off my fancy suit and hang that up very neatly, making sure it's all brushed off in wardrobe.
Can I do a perception check to see if Quarantine's there?
Give me a perception check. Why not?
Okay, I'm not there. 16.
16. Yep, Quarantine's right next to you, outside of the captain's quarters.
Yes, and I will don some regular-looking crew clothing.
Okay.
I will go and change into my new captain clothes.
Okay, you certainly can do that. What is everybody else doing for this ruse, as it were?
I am in my usual position, if the captain's not helming the ship, of helming the ship.
Okay.
Just waiting to be told where I'm going and what I'm doing.
Yep, I'm waiting for destructions.
Yeah. Before we get there, Klein would like to go down to lower decks and see how the work is on his shield. How that's going.
Oh yeah, you set up to make a shield. Who did you give that to? I don't recall making out of that.
I want to say, I think you maybe said
Wasn't it Janine?
Janine? Yeah, no, the new one, yeah.
Yeah,
Janine.
Janine.
You can go down. She says that she's been... I don't remember her voice. I've been working on it, but it's going to take some more time. We got a bit distracted with all of the stuff in Deephorn.
Right, no, that's absolutely fine. Just checking in on it. Thank you, Janine, and I'll just come to me when it's ready, right?
She nods.
And then I'll go back up, and I will be waiting just for Quarantine to get back on deck before I just want to speak to her.
Yep. So eventually, Quarantine, you come back up on deck after getting changed.
My fancy new outfit.
And find Klein waiting there for you.
Just had an idea, Quarantine, about the mission as such. Got these extra boxes, so we look more like a trade vessel from Deephorn. But maybe, like, if people ask, we're not here to sell them. We're just making dock and getting some supplies, right? Therefore, somewhere else we're going. Because if they open them, they'll be empty.
Obviously. But you do know calling me Quarantine in front of a bunch of these people is probably not the best idea.
Well, what's the name going to be then?
What my name has been and has always been, which is Quarantine.
That's exactly what I've just said, Quarantine.
Maybe just stick with Captain while we're here.
Righto. Will do. And I'll just go off being a busybody.
I would have gone downstairs and fetched my hat.
Okay.
Paid particular attention to putting the feather in. Probably take it out a few times, make sure the feather's in the right place. Quickly run down to the galley, and then after about 10 minutes, reappear on deck with my hat on my head with a big old plate of sausages, and I'm just going to stand next to Quarantine.
Yep, you can certainly do that.
I bought you some sausages.
Thank you, but I'm not hungry right now.
Well, you could just keep them.
I don't exactly have a place to put it in this outfit.
Put it in your hat.
I don't want to get my hair greasy, but thank you.
What? Don't take this the wrong way, but what is it actually you do if I'm going to be you?
I make sure the crew are doing okay. I make sure that everything runs smoothly when the captain has other things going on. And I am in charge of selling anything that we acquire and bringing anything that we gather a good look magically.
That sounds very vague.
It's not just one thing that I do.
You're just your presence, yeah?
Sure, why don't we just stick with that?
So,
and I'll just sort of slightly straighten his hat and make sure his feather's nice and...
Okay, so what do you want me to do, Captain? Do you want me to do the talking? The negotiating? What are we actually doing? I'm a bit...
We're here to find out information and possibly deal with a problematic issue.
Vague again. Got it. Be vague. Got it.
I mean, it can't hurt.
Captain.
Okay, I'll go and tell some people, to do stuff.
I hate to interrupt your chatter with the first mate and all, but...
Can you salute, please?
Of course, first mate.
Have you ever saluted me, Baldwin?
Huh?
Captain.
Yeah, but I'm an officer now.
If I could draw your attention
been an officer.
to the impending arrival.
Yes, sorry, Aldris.
We're about to hit port. What would you like me to do?
I assume I would have discussed this previously with the captain before we switched roles.
Yeah. Yeah. So, is there anything that any of you wish to do to make to assist your ship in pulling into port without drawing too much attention to itself?
I'm going to mostly
muted
stand
Yes,
aside.
now that I unmute myself. Sorry, did you want to go, Kirkin?
I was going to say I'm going to stand beside the ship, next to gangplank to get it ready, so I can, when it's on the dock, can stand there looking all big and intimidating at anyone who looks at us funny.
Okay.
I'd like to just have a look to see where the trade ships are going, rather than the other ships, because we don't normally go into the trade sector of the docks.
Yeah. Okay. Make a perception check as for me as you're coming in.
That plus that 17.
17. You don't actually see any pirate vessels around. None that are flying pirate colours, at least. But they all seem to be heading into. Talhazar's kind of built on the mouth of a river. And in the middle of that mouth of the river is a large island that has been kind of built up with stone. And is kind of like, it splits into two as it's going out to sea. So there's a large amount of dock space between the northern bank and the island. So that seems to be where all the ships are going. The only other ships that are going down the river are a lot smaller.
Okay, I'll after seeing that, I'll go up to where Aldris and fake captain and fake first mate are, and be like, it doesn't look like there's any kind of like actual trading docks, so all in the same way, just so I didn't want to make it look like we didn't know what we were doing.
Of course.
We don't know what we're doing.
I can possibly. Sorry, Captain, may I speak?
Of course.
I should probably tell you a little bit about the city, as we are obviously going there for a purpose. I will also, and Balkan, I think this applies mostly to you, I will be adopting my natural accent while we are in town, as to not draw attention.
What's that?
What's a natural accent, or what is my natural accent?
Yes.
Well, the city is very much divided into two. There are the upper cliffs to the north of the river, and the lower part of the city is much poorer, which is where I am from. There are very much, a lot of distinguishers between the folk that live in the two separate areas, and in order to project a sense of success, I began to adopt my current accent, which is more spoken in the northern region. But of course, the lower, poorer area does not speak quite so formally as I. Like so. The city itself, if I just check my notes. So you will have noticed the large tree to the north. That is the great tree of Hazar, the namesake for the city. Sorry, Balkan, what was that?
I just said it's bizarre.
Bizarre. How bizarre. How do I switch that up? There we go. The cliffs that run alongside the river that comes out, that we're currently heading for, actually have houses and buildings and structures built within the cliff face. And I believe that is where we may need to go. The Blades certainly used to have a secret hideout built within the cliffs. I think.
Would heading that direction make us conspicuous?
Well, most of the ships seem to be heading that way, so no, I don't think so. we can obviously get off in a natural place. We'll dock where we are signaled to dock, and then we can begin to make our way through the city.
A question, Captain. I mean, not Captain.
Yes.
There are not many of my kind around, and people know that I work for you. Maybe I should stay in the shadows.
I mean, you do work best in the shadows, but as a rather popular dock, I don't think it'll be too unusual to see different races of people.
Generally, you get all sorts passing through the docks. Probably the larger population of Zopteran tend to be in the richer parts of the town, as they're often hired as bodyguards, acting in pretty much the same way that Lack does on the ship.
So unimaginative, James.
What
I have a question for you, Lax.
What I mean to say, Captain, is there may be others Zopteran about, but very, very few look like me. That is something maybe we haven't talked about before, because it has not become an issue.
If they're not looking for Phineas, why would they be looking for you?
I cannot answer that question.
Mr. Lack, if I may. You, yesterday, managed to disguise yourself to look like the captain. Sorry, Mr. Phineas. Perhaps you could utilize that kind of thing. To look like a different type of Zopteran.
I could for a short period of time, yes.
If it became necessary.
Yes.
Lack, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you guard Phineas or do you guard the captain? Because up until, I don't know if you know this, but up until like a few hours ago, they were the same person.
I guard everybody.
But you're always following not Captain Phineas around.
I think in this case, Phineas should stay with me and Lax should stay with the both of us.
That seems wise.
They can both be my bodyguards, so to speak.
That does ask the question, what is my role on the ship? Present.
You could be the chef.
I could be the chef.
It's an important role, apparently.
Right, maybe, Phineas, I'll start saying it now so we don't muck up whilst on land. Maybe like deckhand, so you can be like coming up to sea and to carry stuff back to the ship if we're going to trade or buy stuff to trade.
Deckhand and bodyguard.
I mean, yes, I am the pinnacle of a weightlifter. But
yeah,
that makes sense.
Also, another question, Phineas, and Captain and First Mate. And I'm just going to ask you a question here, PM.
Yes.
I've never had to think about it because where we've been is either been
Klein
on
thinking
sea
this is dangerous,
or in places that we know and trust.
Yeah.
We're now going into a place where we're trying to somehow infiltrate or just gain information from an enemy. My trident, obviously I know about it and my kind do because it's my clan's trident. How well would it be known outside?
Outside of Water Genasi, it's unlikely to be recognised. And at any rate, it's pretty normal for deckhands to be carrying weapons, especially in these seas. You need to defend yourselves from pirates. They could be anywhere.
But the look of the trident, would that...
Most people would just assume, oh, that guy spent probably way too much on that thing. Kind of thing. Some might pick it up as magical and might question you about that. But...
Yeah. Okay. and I'll be like, my trident, I don't want to leave it on the ship. I don't want to be seen as carrying it because we have bumped into a few blue blades before. We've fought, and they've seen us. Maybe like if you take my trident, Captain, instead of having your sword on show.
I don't really carry a weapon.
Well, maybe if you did that anyway, it would look a bit more like deckhand.
Okay, I mean, you could... Do you need the trident with you? We could just lock it in my office.
Right, get that, but several times, and the last times we were about these blue blades, we did lose a pretty big prize, didn't we?
Okay. Sure, I can carry that. But that does bring me on to a very important thing. A couple of very important things. Firstly, magic. It is not something you should be seen doing in the city. If you... It is possible to disclose that you are a magic user and sort of pass through, but if you don't have to, just carry a sword and pretend you stab people.
Right.
Especially as we're here for less than legitimate reasons, we don't want to get caught on any sort of register that we've been here.
No, then we'd have to like say to everybody that we're on this register every port we dock at, wouldn't we?
I'd say that probably Eyeless and Quarantine are familiar with this. The cities of Fralakmir have a suspicious view of magic for many reasons. And they like to register any magic users that enter the city because they don't want magic going off. People who played in my previous campaign may remember this from Tal Hanun. And I believe Dan's character got caught out on it at one point.
Doesn't sound like me at all.
It bothers me that I can't remember his name.
What character?
Zabunto.
Yeah, you're
The big mushroom.
Zabunto. Yeah, Zabunto. Yes.
Yes. Quick question for PM.
Hit me. Not literally, please.
Does Aldris remember, or has he ever been here before?
Make a history check for me.
Oh god.
Yeah.
One day.
I will make sure then that I have both my
Ooh.
daggers stashed on one on each hip.
15.
15. You do remember being here, actually. That ship you served on for a while used to dock here, though not in these docks.
All right. Should we not go to the other docks, Captain?
The other docks?
You have no idea what he's talking about.
There's another set of docks, isn't there? Isn't there? Pretty sure there are.
No.
No? Maybe I've misremembered it. I don't quite understand.
Is it like a poor dock and a rich dock?
No, it was more of a... It was quite a small dock, if I remember.
Yeah, it was small, and it was
Kind of
inside.
quiet. Yeah, inside the cliffs. Somewhere, I think. Yeah, not very many ships there.
Aldris, I've been meaning to speak to you about your memories. Perhaps we can find a moment at some point.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just... Sorry.
One
just
last thing then, Glenn, yeah?
on that. Aldris?
Yes. Mr. Klein.
Like, I know you were, like, brought to us in, like, pieces. This coin I had, kind of all met up in everything, but...
Right.
I don't suppose you've got any coin on you, do you?
I've got quite a few coins, yes.
Like, any which may, like, have the blue blade symbol on them, like the tokens we found from the other people that were on our ship?
I don't know. I don't think so. Perhaps
I only ask because
I've
your
got
memory is
gold,
a bit
if that's what you
patchy.
mean. There's absolutely nothing wrong with my memory.
That's all right.
The only distinguishing mark that Aldous has is
all of them.
The symbol of Orala on a coin on a ring that he is wearing.
Yes, I've got that. If that's what you mean, is that what you mean?
Oh, right, yeah, I was just wondering. I didn't know whether you might be noticed by the particular people we're going after.
I tend to get noticed by everybody.
Those good looks, I reckon.
Not sure you've got that quite right, but yes, I'll take it.
Aldous, do you know where this other port is?
Which other port would this be?
Right, we'll stick to the original plan then, shall we?
Something to worry about now.
Are we...
So we need to head to the Dune Strider stop. It is
Phineas.
Once we've docked, it's on the within the cliff on the northern side, just west of the docks, and that at least used to be a front for the Blades. So we'll go investigate there first.
So, as you're pulling in, what I'd like you to do, I would like the acting captain to roll a d20 and add the crew's quality score, which is +6 at the moment, for me, please. And this will be your deception check to see if you can pull off appearing as a merchant vessel.
Shoot the captain.
Oh God, we're asking that to do this.
He's already done it.
Oh, we're all dead.
Inspiration. You got inspiration?
Nope.
Mutiny.
Have mine.
It's going so well.
Failed at the first hurdle.
Natural
What was
one.
this? Oh. What I'll
Do we
say,
get advantage because we're so well prepared?
what I'll say is I will give you advantage because you have pulled out all the stops here. I was considering giving you disadvantage because you changed the name of a ship, which is a very unlucky thing to do. But I'll let it slide. So you can roll again.
25 total.
25. Okay. Much better, much better.
Yeah, from a 1 to a natural 19.
Yeah. So, you sail into port, and is everybody on roll 20?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because rather than trying to muddy my way through a description, I may as well move you to this map.
Ooh.
Welcome to Tal Hazar, the city of cliffs.
That's really cool.
Somebody want to stream that and I'll focus it.
Must have taken you ages to draw that.
Yep, by hand.
So with the pencils in hand, there Jade was just colouring it all
These
in.
pencils, precisely. It did take me a while. I probably spent far too long on this, but I'm calling it practice for when I draw other maps later.
That is a big, beautiful map.
It's gorgeous.
You pull in. You can thank the folks at Incarnate for the tools that I used. So, you pull in. You can probably see the token in the docks.
Yep.
So that's where you docked up. And you can slowly get your slowly kind of set down the plank, sort everything out. You see a burly-looking dwarf walking down the docks with a couple of human guards behind him, completely bald with kind of a luscious, silken blonde beard. He kind of walks down. He's pulling out a ledger. Right. Okay. Entrepreneur's Delight. Captain, can we speak?
Of course. You two with me.
Okay.
And I'll stride down the gangplank with all my bits and pieces that were required.
I will follow anyway, just behind them.
Yeah. Now, just need to get some records in place. I do not have record of your ship, so where have you sailed from today?
We have sailed from.
I can put you back on the big map if you want.
I think you Deepworm, Captain.
Yes, Deephorn.
Ah.
We're just stopping by for some supplies. We're not planning on staying for too long.
I would like to make a persuasion check for me, please.
I'll just be smiling at this person.
He's not noticed you. He's barely noticed the guards around. The other two are on quarantine.
14.
14. I rolled the 7. Oh my. Well, good to see you're still in one piece. I wouldn't recommend stopping there if you can. Bloodthirsty pirates and all that.
Is there something going on that I'm not aware of?
Well, they're pirates down in the Deep Orange, one of the shanty towns.
Oh goodness!
You must be new to this sailing business around these seas. You from down south?
A little ways, yes. I must admit, I am quite new to this whole captaining business. You know what it's like.
That's fine. Just be wary of Deep Horn. You ever see the shanties with the lot of gold around? They tend to be the safest ones. Even then, you might get your pockets pinched. I wouldn't recommend it.
Make a note of that, won't you, Phineas? Yes.
Yes, Captain. I'm, as you know, I'm from around these parts. I will keep you safe.
I much appreciate it.
I love the hat of the jaunty angle and all. That's.
I felt like I needed to just
distinguish yourself.
It's a disguise. It's a disguise. It's a disguise.
I'm assuming all of us on deck can hear this. We can hear the.
Yes, this dwarf is not quiet.
Yeah.
He's.
Is he?
I'm also going to point out I'm still at the end of the gangplank, looking all intimidating. Shut up.
Does it seem like he is fully buying it with what they're saying?
Make an insight check. Feels.
I thought they were
nostalgic to ask Fiddy for an insight check.
16.
16? Yeah, he seems to be buying it. He's writing furiously down in his ledger. Right, and so what are y'all carrying? Are you here to sell today?
No, not to sell, just to pick up some much-needed supplies.
All right.
Unfortunately, Deephorn didn't carry everything that we required, so...
Yeah, it's going to be unlikely, unless you need threats. Right, so what are you carrying? What goods you shipping about today?
A
we need to
variety
keep up this.
A variety of different spices and some silk and other
silk and spices.
Materials.
Excellent. How long are you expecting to be staying in our port for today?
What do you think, Phineas?
I don't know, probably 24 hours, something like that.
Yes,
just a day? Not just a day?
I'd say at least a day. Maybe have some R&R for some of the crew. You know how they get
fair enough.
On the ocean for too long.
I can't recommend the bathhouses up by the great tree. Those elves work a treat. Now, I believe that's all in all. I just need to see about your docking fee.
Of course.
Just for a day. If you do stay here longer, I will have to charge you some more. Just for the privilege of using our part here today. For one ship, I'd say that's a nice and easy 50 gold.
Of course, and I will remove 50 gold and pay the man.
Okay. He kind of takes it, passes it off to one of his guards. Oh, and your name, madam, if you don't mind me asking.
Prescott.
Prescott.
Captain Prescott. My father was a merchant.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll let you get along with your business, Captain, today. And he gives you this smile and then turns around and starts walking off.
Thank you kindly.
You have successfully docked in Talhazar.
I think we did quite well there, Captain.
Yes, indeed, first mate. Maybe you would like to supervise Klein and Kirk in getting supplies for the ship?
Do they need supervising? I mean, yes, Captain. Do I just let them do it and just follow them around? Do I get to order them around?
Just don't push it too much, but yes.
And I'll just stride up to the deck and I'll just go, Klein, Gherkin, report.
I'll look at you from the bottom of the gangplank where you were and just raise an eyebrow at you.
With me.
Don't push it too far.
I'm only joking, Klein. Do you like my hat?
Looks really marvellous on you. I really
We've got to go and get supplies, so lead on.
Righto. And as I'm walking down, I'll be like, well, I suppose best supplies just to make it look. I take it we're free now. We're just like in one port, one dock area.
Yeah.
I won't say it overly
You
loud.
can see a small guard presence around and about, but yeah, you're free to do what you wish.
Well, I'm pretty sure that we need like some meats and some more rum for the ship. Oh, you reckon?
I was just about to say that.
Right, and then I'll walk past and I'll look at quarantine, and as I walk past, I'll be like, right, and Captain Prescott, he'll say, we'll go and get supplies for the ship now.
You need funds for that?
Yeah, well, you can reimburse us when I'm back, but that's fine.
Okay.
We've got it covered, Captain.
As you kind of
Excellent work, first mate.
kind of off of the docks, you can see that there are various buildings. It's almost like a market to an extent. People with large crates of various supplies ready to load up ships or are peddling their own wares.
Yeah.
So I'll say that you can easily get some supplies for the ship.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the nearest.
No.
First. Making it look quite natural, just having a look around. It's obvious that we haven't been before. There's a ship from the conversation from the captain, and
But there's one just right here, Klein.
Right, I know, but let's have a look around, see what else is about, and we can find like deals there, can't we? This is what the trading ship is, so let's do that, right?
Yeah. How about you make a performance check for me, Klein?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Great big fat 0 to add to it.
Would I notice that Klein doesn't have his trident?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why
Didn't you bring your trident?
Don't think I need it on here. And it'll just kind of... I don't know if Balkan will quite get that, but more of a...
No.
Like, yeah, okay. But yeah, he'll just be like, because I don't think we need it.
Okay.
Kirkin will probably pick it up as a shut the fuck up about it. I don't have a trident at all. What was our performance?
Yeah.
11.
11. You get a couple of looks just because it's a water genasi being accompanied by a minotaur and a turtle. You're quite the eclectic group.
Sounds like the beginning of a joke.
Weird
Other than
distraction.
that, you're not drawing attention for your conversation. You look like people here to buy and barter.
Yeah. So with that, I'm assuming that all of us, if not a couple of us, would want to look. But is there any like religious signs anywhere through this marketplace? If one is like more prominent than the others, and two, are there what's the guard presence like, basically?
Okay. So your first question about the holy symbols, religious symbols. Several of the buildings have wind catchers kind of up on top designed. They're fascinating in architecture. They're designed to catch wind and aerate buildings without using any power. But all of them have horse iconography on them, which to pretty much anyone will indicate Manranaur, the god of air, who seems to be relatively worshipped. Though there are there's a lot of tree imagery about in the city as well. You're not entirely sure why that would be.
Okay. And on the guard,
on the other front, there's a fair bit of guard presence in here. As you're walking around, you can see a couple of the stairs up to the cliff above you, and as well as like entrances to into the caverns. The guard presence is heavier around the stairs, but there are a few patrolling down
here. Yeah. Okay. How many meat and like alcohol shops are about here?
That is good for you.
Yeah.
I'll say, how many days worth of meat and rum are you buying for the crew?
We know we're probably going to stop off at a few in parentheses, or sorry, in commas. But yeah, we're going to stop off at a few. So I'll get like a large keg barrel of rum.
Yeah.
And then probably like 2 or 3 days worth of meat. Knowing that obviously we've got some on board, and just to keep up appearance, basically. But I'll probably lead people back to the like center of town, and just pick a random one basically there to go to.
I'll say it probably comes to around 160 gold for the loss of that.
Yeah, that's fine. And
sorry, I just was wondering how long had we been traveling from?
From Deephorn. It took you 2 days, I believe.
Okay.
And what I will say, what Balkin and Kirkham will notice is that you've seen Klein in a few fights and is always very enthusiastic to literally jump headfirst into them. You'll see him being showing more of his tactics side of things, being a warrior, basically. Being very scrupulous in what he's looking at, what he's looking for, and trying to blend in.
Malcolm will be getting bored, like, just make a decision, they're all the same.
And yeah, if he says that, I'll be like, right, who's a bit peckish? Shall we find some food? I'll buy you some fish, Balkan, right? Sorry, first mate.
That's better.
I'll say an extra 4 gold for some fish for Balkan.
Yeah, cool.
So you can return the goods back to the ship. That's perfectly fine.
What would you like to carry, Kirkin? The meat or the rum?
Oh, I'll carry the meat. I've no doubt you would prefer the rum.
Well, just trying to spread it out. Otherwise, it looks like there's just 2 really big blokes here just trying to buy a load of meat and rum.
Well, I'm not carrying anything. I am an officer.
Yeah, and you don't need to, first mate. You really don't.
Good. Well, I think we handled that quite well. You are
Phineas.
dismissed until I need you again.
Phineas, whereabouts are you at the moment?
Well, I'd be with the captain and...
Still by the ship?
I'm sure by the time those guys have wandered off and spent 20 minutes looking for a shop, I'm sure we would have moved off to do something.
Okay. Okay. Make a perception check for me, please.
Certainly. 15.
15. As you're walking along, you kind of feel there's something in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. Checks pockets.
Sausages, I bet.
You check your pocket and you find a coin with a piece of paper wrapped around it.
Maybe not them.
I wish it was a sausage.
No pocket sausage. Oh dear.
Sausage is in your pocket.
Okay, I'll sort of pull it up and slowly have a look, and I'll have a look at the coin first.
It's just a standard Fralakmir gold piece.
Okay. And the note?
The note reads, "Meet me at the River Alcove, 5 p.m. Signed, G.T."
Gin and tonic. No.
Do I know a GT?
Make an intelligence check for me.
Great tosser.
Must be. Oh, 21.
You want to start something, Aldris?
I was just wondering if our no, it doesn't matter. I'm not the bodyguard and or lookout, so I wouldn't have noticed anything.
So it was 21.
Yeah.
You vaguely remember it. You kind of turn it over your head, and the fact that this was in your pocket without you noticing, a name kind of enters your head. Gabby Twincock. An old...
Come on.
An old accomplice of yours.
Really? You didn't think that through?
What?
DMP come back,
Twincock. Come on.
Come on, Jay. You know this group.
2 heads are better than 1.
See? It starts.
Fucking players ruin your fucking campaign. I fucking hate it.
Hey.
Win hog.
GT,
Oh.
master of DP.
Okay. Gabby Twin Gear. An old accomplice of yours, and who was, in contrast to Grant, more on your side, more dedicated to you, from what you remember.
Interesting. And I'll try and tuck a little corner to where. Who was it? Obviously, Captain Prescott and Lack, was it? You were with us as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll try and find a bit of a corner, or just tuck up against a building or something. Interesting. Interested. I've got a coin with a note in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been here like, what, 10 minutes? It's a note to meet someone later this evening or this afternoon. I don't know, what is 5 p.m? Is that evening or afternoon? It's a bit in between, isn't it?
Kind of in the middle. So it's a couple of hours.
Do I remember anybody getting close enough to us that they could have?
Do I? More's the point.
Yeah,
Bodyguard.
Make some perception checks for me.
I certainly, if I had noticed it, I certainly would have stopped it. Probably with a dagger. But
15.
That was 13, so I definitely didn't.
I got 15.
You walk past a couple of groups, but you never saw anything. But as you're thinking on it, Phineas, Gabby is a gnome. She's very short. She was also known for not being particularly easy to find.
Well, it's I think it's signed GT, and I knew someone by the name of Gabby who might have been able to sneak this in. But she certainly was more friend than foe when I knew her, so I'm inclined to go and have a look.
Could this be someone using your relationship with Gabby to lure you somewhere?
Well, maybe. But
we'll only know if we go and find out.
That's right. And it's a couple of hours from now, so we can make sure we prepare, make sure we take the right people. Like, you can be off in the shadows somewhere, but maybe Kirkin could come for a bit of, physical intimidation.
Well, between Kirkin and Klein, I think that's all the muscle you're going to ever need.
Mm. Yeah. All right. What do we want to do for now? Because I was going to take us to the tavern, which I think was, which I know was a front. It certainly used to be. Do we want to follow this lead first, or do we want to go and check out the tavern?
Well, that's the one with eyes and ears everywhere. Maybe he could do some reconnaissance.
I will say, Phineas, you know of 2 other taverns that exist within the city that are decent haunts.
Okay.
One is the Gilded Saddle, which is in the upper reach of the city. It kind of lies on the main concourse.
Right.
And Sand and Salt, which is more of a kind of like dive for the poorer residents of the city, kind of located more over here.
Okay. And these are, as far as I know, unaffiliated with the Blue Blades. And
From what you remember, no, it was just June Strider's Stop that was affiliated, and that's located in the caverns, roughly here-ish, underground.
Right.
I will say, so you know, in order to get to the southern half of the city, you will need to either pass through the upper cliffs or get a ferry boat over.
I can scope out the more distinguished establishment. Perhaps take Eyeless with me. He is a bit of a fancy pants, after all.
Well, the other taverns that I just mentioned to you, I don't think they're just places we can go for a quiet chat and a drink, really.
Well, you never know what information you might pick up on.
Well, yeah, it's certainly worth keeping an ear out, but yeah,
I think in your specific establishment that you spoke about, I think Lack is probably the best bet there.
I could do my usual trick of entertaining them and seeing what happens.
Perhaps you and Aldris would be better suited at the one down south.
Well, I mean, we can go and have a look. I was just thinking we go for a drink and wait for 5 before we go and meet, hopefully, Gabby. But if you want to go and have a look at that other place, yeah, you should take someone with you.
Very well. Who do you recommend?
None of the rest of them are exactly subtle.
No, I think on second thoughts, I think we should just hang back, give it a bit. We've only got a couple of hours to wait, so we'll just wait. We'll have that meeting with Gabby, and then we'll do some investigation. I think.
Maybe for now we can just familiarise ourselves with the area.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So, where are you heading then?
I suppose we're going to just sort of have a bit of a wander around while Phineas explains everything that we need to know about where we are.
Yeah. And I'll inadvertently, as we stroll, just go across the bridge.
If you're going to the upper city, as you go up the stairs, the group of you are stopped by the guards. Before you enter the upper city, do you have any magic to declare?
No magic here.
Make some deception checks, you two.
Who's gone to this? Are we all gone?
That is a good question. Who's going for this?
I believe it was
I thought
Phineas,
it was
Lack, and
just those
Quarantine.
three. Because the rest,
Yeah.
Ilas and myself are still on board ship. We've been told nothing to do at the moment. We're just hanging back and waiting for the rest of them to scope it out. As far as I'm aware.
If that's the case, just to bring that in, once we got back to the ship with the supplies, Klein would have filled you both in with what he saw and noticed and everything when we got the supplies, just so you are kept in the loop.
Okey-dokey.
Yeah. Iris is conspicuously without his staff, and he's got this very sort of long silk, sort of like deep purple. It's almost like a minister's cassock, but it's sort of very sort of flowy and loose, with a similar pair of like white Aladdin type trousers on. And he's just lounging on the deck.
I'm assuming that we would have already checked with Phineas about magical items and such.
Generally, it's just magical ability that they're more concerned about. They don't want someone suddenly slinging lightning bolts around. So.
Don't know anybody who could do that. 18.
18.
50.
Phineas? 50. Black, are you making any statements about your magical ability?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just standing, flying there, hovering there, looking menacing with daggers and stilettos and guns and things all over me.
Okay, they'll leave you be. So, with those, they kind of nod, kind of give you an eye, and then let you pass. And as you are able to begin walking across this bridge.
I'll swing my hips just a little bit more as I'm passing, just to see if they're noticing that kind of thing, just to sort of take that information in case we're going to need it later.
One of them takes notice.
Okay.
The other one's too busy doing his job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll as I start sort of quietly talking through a bit of the history of the Blue Blades and a bit of my history as well. I came up in the slums and made a bit of a name for myself as a sort of negotiator between factions before getting and which sort of led into my own racketeering job, which took notice of the big gang of the Blades and ended up working for them and working my way up the chain. And then I'll sort of go, oh, and this was a place I used to like to go when I could, sneak in past the guards at night. These were a good little spot, and end up just sort of pointing out bits of the city.
Yeah.
You
can see down the end of the path near the lighthouse, that bit of land, the last piece of land you were standing on when you were last in this city.
You have a sort of long, quiet stare down that road before moving off in a different direction.
I'll say you can get to. You heading to the Sand and Salt?
Yeah.
The cheapo tavern? Yep. Okay. You get in there and it's rather rickety, shaded, with a couple of spots of light poking through some of the boarded up windows. The tavern keep is a rather bored-looking human man. He's sat there just doing the usual with a ragged towel and a glass. It's quite quiet in here today, it seems.
Just sort of strolling, all cocky. Evening, afternoon. We're definitely in the afternoon at the moment, aren't we?
Afternoon.
All right. Bit quiet in here today.
Yeah, well.
Right.
Can I get you anything?
Yes, please. Me and my friends would like a round of drinks. What can I get you?
What do you recommend?
Well, me or the barman? I don't know the menu. Barman!
I've got ale or I've got ale.
An ale sounds divine.
It's a wonderful choice of ales.
He puts down a selection of 3 mugs of ale in front of you. He says, gold.
Gold.
He takes it.
Bit warm from my cleavage, but otherwise good.
And he kind of then resumes the cleaning of the glass that he was doing.
Hey, my man, you still got the dartboard in here?
Yeah, somewhere.
Right. And can I get the darts?
Yeah, sure. And he kind of steps back and places them on the table. It's a set of darts where, like, the little fins, a couple of the fins are missing, kind of thing. Like, they've been used a lot and not looked after well.
Hey, my man, is there everything all right? Do I need to help with anything?
No, you're right. It's just things have dried up a lot recently.
Right. Well. All right. Well, we're in town, so maybe we'll drum up a bit of business.
I wish you luck. I ain't interested in bending the knee to any blue blade bastards. So, I'm good.
Right.
I ain't bending the knee to them.
Good for you, mate.
I've been fucking running this town into the ground ever since they started taking over 4 years ago.
Right, interesting. I've been out of town for a few years, but
No. I'm surprised you even came back.
well, big business, isn't it? So, have they got any operations around here?
Just usual racketeering. They keep trying to push the pins on me. Push my rent up. But recently, they've all been disappearing. Just the occasional thug come around.
Interesting.
Don't know why.
Well, that's interesting to know. All right. Well, if you do hear anything, I'd be interested to know if we're just going to kick back here for a drink for a bit. You think of anything you need dealing with regarding the blades, you let me know.
He nods and goes back to just cleaning the glass.
I'll just stick 2 more gold down on the bar as I walk away.
As you walk away, they quickly slid off the bar and claimed. So, as you guys sit down to drink, we'll pop back to the deck. To the deck of the ship. Anything anyone wants to do?
I would have spent practically the entire time I've been awake today continuing to carve the moonstone.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's definitely doable for you.
Seeing the heavier guard presence near the stairs, PM. Would, after what the captain told us about magic and everything, would I get that inclination that they were there to stop or see that as like more, rather than just guards, as more of a like
Make an insight check. Make an insight check.
Insight loves me. Natural 20.
What's the total?
I think it's like 21.
Okay.
Yeah, 21. Such a low insight.
You kind of look over and you're kind of watching the nearest stairs, clean view from the ship, and you see every so often someone on the street just kind of make a break to try and get up the stairs, and the guards catch them and just throw them back down the stairs.
Okay.
The other visitors, anyone you look at and think, yeah, they'd be an easy mark, they're wearing their money on their shirt, seems to be able to get through perfectly fine and aren't stopped, except for the occasional one. They seem to be keep checking ledgers and keep checking notes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Can I see the little ferry right down the bottom from where the ship is?
Yeah. You can see the ferry. There's a ferry dock here.
Yeah.
And there are various areas in the city that it can lead you to.
Does it seem like there's guards there checking people for magic if they're going over, or more of it just you pay them money, you go over?
Not by the dock, no.
Okay.
Not by the dock.
Cool. So again, everyone back on the ship will notice Klein being a bit more focused and a bit more battle wary with what we're doing, and he'll be like, right, so see those stairs over there? Captain said there's a couple of them through the city. Heavier guard presence over there. I think that's where they're stopping people if they've got magic or don't look the part to go into the sea. Little ferry port down there. Seems like we'll be able to get across a lot easier if we need to.
Noted. First mate, if I may be so bold.
Oh, it's me. Yeah.
Yes. Permission to go up into the fly's nest and have a quick scope around.
I'm sure Lack will be fine with that.
Excellent. Thank you very much, first mate. I just want to go all the way up to
what
the
are
top.
you doing up there?
I've gone. Once I've got permission, I've gone.
Yeah,
and I just want to look. I want to look specifically into the entrances to the caverns, which I think you said were basically just.
There's one there. There's one there. They're kind of like stone reinforced cave entrances.
I just want to see, are those guarded? And if so, are they guarded by different guards than the ones that guard the steps?
Make a perception check for me, please.
Okay. Perception check, you say? Oh, you fucker. It fell off a 17 onto a 3, so 7.
don't see any guards around the
Perfect.
cave entrances.
I will scoot back down. Mr. First Mate, sir, I don't believe the entrances to the caverns which run underneath the city, as the captain said, as Phineas said. Or it may have been Captain Prescott, I'm not sure. Don't appear to be guarded at all, so I suspect that if we need to get under the city, that would be a way
in. I have taken all that information on board.
Excellent.
I would suggest that you tell the captain when she's back.
Right.
Carry on.
Yes, sir, First Mate, sir.
Right. On that, because we're not normally quite split up like this, but don't suppose any of us have got a way to get in contact with the captain?
Yes.
Might be worth seeing what's going on, because they haven't come back to the ship.
I mean, I can do that twice. But that does involve me using fairly high-level magic.
You can't do that. You can't use that. Don't you remember? We're not allowed to use the M-word.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
What you're saying, Mr. Klein, is I can send a message like I did before. But as I say, it will use a certain amount of my magic up.
Stop saying that word.
It will use a certain amount of my talent up.
Talons.
Which I may need for later on. If you know what I mean.
No.
Right, yeah. What do we all think? Do we try and have a wander?
I think we wait until they come back. Would be my advice to you, First Mate.
Kirkin, can you make a perception check for me, please?
Uh-oh.
I'd rather not, because the last one wasn't great, and
We believe in you.
these keep happening, and I haven't noticed anything. 13.
13. You keep finding your gaze drawn to the massive tree in the northern part of the city.
I thought that alright.
Feels familiar.
Right, yeah. I completely understand where you're coming from, Aldris, but I don't think I've been away from the captain and all of that for quite so long.
Mr. Klein, in my vast experience, nothing can be gained from fretting and worrying about what we should be doing and who we're apart from. We wait here until, I'd say, another hour. If nothing happens, then one of us could go and investigate to find out where they are. Or if we are worrying, I could send a message to them.
That's my call to make.
It is only, of course, First Mate, advice.
What I think we should do is stay here for perhaps another hour or so, and then we could send someone to try and find them.
That sounds like an excellent plan, First Mate. I can see why you got the job.
Not just a pretty hat.
And it is a beautiful hat, if I may say so.
Did you see the feather?
I did. It's amazing.
Quarantine got it for me.
Who? Captain Prescott, you mean? I see. Well,
because I'm her first mate, we're on first name basis.
I see. I mistook that.
It's called a working relationship.
I see. My mistake, First Mate. I didn't quite realise that you were the captain were
carry on,
as it were.
Carry on. And I'll just go to Klein. Carry on, and then anyone else on deck, I'll just go. Carry on. I don't know how to first, mate.
Prosher kind of looks at you and just chuckles to himself and continues what she was doing, guarding the deck. So, is there anything anyone else wants to do on the deck of the ship?
Yes, Kirk.
We'll try and get Balkan's attention if he's not too busy telling everyone to carry on. First mate, might I visit the city for a short while with your permission?
Is that safe?
I don't believe I would be in any danger here.
Carry on.
Thank you, first mate.
And if anyone asks if it goes well, that's fine. I'll let you do it. And if you want to bring back a fish, you bring back a fish.
If I
Subtle.
feel so moved, I understand.
You carry on.
Thank you, first mate.
As you pass Aldris on your way out, Mr. Kirkin, are you sure it's entirely wise to go alone?
Would you like to accompany me?
I mean, I can. I am fairly noticeable. I was thinking more perhaps Mr. Klein or Mr. Eyeless. I am a very noticeable person. People tend to remember me where I go places. But I don't think any of us should be going
Aldris.
alone.
Aldris, I'm a Minotaur.
Yes.
I'm
He sounds probably
very
a good
noticeable
foot taller than you.
by myself.
I mean, he might have a point that you shouldn't go on your own.
I mean,
Very well.
entirely up to yourself, of course.
Mr. Klein, Mr. Eyeless, would either of you wish to accompany me?
I'm more than happy to accompany you, darling, if you wish.
I think Eyeless is a good choice because he knows what fish are like.
I kind of get that.
Oh, subtle.
Are
you sure you're not a rogue, Balkan?
No, I'm first mate.
Mr. Klein.
Both of your talents going away together. If there's any trouble anywhere else, what we need to get to could be an issue.
Don't worry, Mr. Klein. I'm sure I can fill in for them.
Well, more of you could go if you want. I'm rapidly losing people off this ship.
With your permission, of course, first mate, I believe that as few people as possible leave the ship without.
Okay.
The captain's
you and Kirk can go on, do whatever he wants to do. Klein, you stay here and carry on. Aldris, you stay here and carry on. Carry on.
Everyone will notice, and they know he's been fairly good with Balkan, but everyone will notice Klein being very much more on edge and very much not liking this.
So Eyeless will step across to Klein and sort of pull him to the edge of the gangplank as we move towards the edge, and he will pull Klein's hand towards him. On the bottom, he will place the whistle, and then on top of that, he will place a small bundle. It's a purple and sort of white and silver silk kerchief with something wrapped in it. You may find the first thing useful if he forgets himself and transforms. Do short blasts, be insistent.
Right.
And the other thing is something for you.
Right, well, thank you very much. I suppose if we need you, we'll have to get in contact somehow.
I'm sure you'll manage.
I don't imagine we will be terribly long.
No. I'm just a little bit
Lead on.
anxious.
And I'll just walk up behind Klein. Don't worry, Mr. Klein. After all, I'm here.
No, right, yes, you are true. I forgot that you could do what you do.
I can do all sorts of interesting things.
I would just like to point out that we have now reached the point where the only members of the party left on the deck of the ship are Klein, Aldris, and Bodkin.
Perfect
We do have
combination.
we do have the NPC ones, and everyone has
Yes.
taken note that Klein has gone way more serious than anyone's
The main
ever seen.
NPC you have on the deck is Proshka.
Yeah, you've got 3/4 of the sandcastle team.
Erkin and Ilis, you guys heading off of the ship. Where are you headed?
Fish shop.
As if I don't already
know. Yes. Going to head towards what I presume is the temple of the tree to pay respects to the namesake of the city.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what I'm telling the guards.
As you kind of get up, they kind of say, "Do you have any magic to declare?"
Oh no, of course not.
Make a perception check for me, Ilis.
Oh fuck. Oh, yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. 19.
19? Okay. On you come. They let you through. And you walk up to this temple, this large, older stone building. It's much older than anything else around you. Looks kind of similar to some buildings you've seen before. And this huge, gigantic tree sat in the middle. You can see well springs of water rising up from in between the roots. And as you approach, you can see the guard presence gets lesser as you come towards the tree. And you see various figures all kind of walking about the temple, seemingly carrying various plants, pitchers of water, buckets. They all seem to be gardening.
Seems like you'd fit quite in here, Mr. Kurgan.
More than I realized somehow. Sorry, I'm going to actually send this directly to GM because it would make more sense.
Yep.
Because that will determine my next action.
None currently. You have occasionally seen them. You've seen them on the staff before you were the owner of the staff.
Yes, I know what you mean. So magic is outlawed, but god worship isn't?
It's more of you tell them that you've got magic so that they're not surprised by it. And the basic sense of it is they don't want people just randomly throwing magic out in the streets. It's viewed suspiciously, though worship is not disdained. They'll likely have ledgers of all of the clerics of the temples here and the ones that are able to practice magic.
I'm just trying to figure out a decent excuse for, hey, can I come in here and totally touch your sacred tree that city is named for?
Yeah,
I'm not doing anything.
There are members of temples in this world who aren't magical as well. That's a completely normal thing.
Okay. So yeah, in that case, I will approach it with my staff and try and commune with the tree to see if holds to like at all.
You're not able to get up to the tree. The only path there is this wooden bridge on the inside of the temple that leads over. But you see that there are some locations dotted around it where you can see several other visitors kind of sat communing.
Excellent, yeah. Grab one of those spots. Bringing Ilis along for the ride if you want.
Ilis, with your passive perception, your eyes are drawn to the water. and most of it is crystal clear. It's quite beautiful, actually. Though occasionally, it's weird, you occasionally see a milky patch rise up and drift along and through.
Okay, I'll be staring intently at the water
Okay.
and just continue to watch.
As you kind of sit and commune, can you make a spellcasting check for me, please? So roll your wisdom and add your proficiency. This is what I like to do in place of using religion for, communion stuff. It's like you're magically communing. Religion's more about knowledge than anything else.
Sorry, what was he asking to roll again?
Spellcasting check. So your wisdom and your proficiency, plus your wisdom plus your proficiency. So the kind of check you roll to cast a spell. If you are making a spell check.
Sorry. Spells. Yeah, sorry.
You're all right.
15?
15.
Plus your proficiency with that, too.
Yeah.
Just...
should be another 3.
3?
Sorry. Slightly distracted.
Yeah.
I blame the captain.
Doing an important job.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's just sort of looking at you now, going, "Really? Is that it?"
Yeah, I get that all the time. Last night wasn't sufficient, and she left again.
Yeah.
So as you kind of sit and commune there, holding on to the staff, you kind of open your eyes at one point and you see 2 fresh green leaves have sprouted on the top of your staff.
Interesting.
As you rest there, you eventually hear a voice say, "That's a fine staff you have there." You turn, you see this brown-haired. You turn and see this brown-haired half-elf standing there. He's wearing these dark brown and green patterned robes and appears to have what looks like a small animal in one hand that he appears to be feeding.
So it's James, basically.
Yeah.
No, he's not training it to kill anybody yet.
Yet.
Sorry. Back to your ping. Thank you. It was a gift from my elder.
Yeah. The leaves are very similar to our great tree here. Perhaps it's a cutting from...
Perhaps. She did not tell me of its origins. I simply noticed when some of the tree's leaves fell on our ship.
That is concerning, but yes. We've been losing some leaves recently. We don't know why, but we can only hope.
It is not a seasonal effect?
No. The great tree of Hussar has been here for as long as Hussar has been. We suspect, from the histories, that it was one of the first gifts to the elven peoples. Back when we first spread. Apparently a gift from a figure. Our histories are vague. They only refer to a Floridis. We don't know. But we are grateful. It acts as a wellspring for the city and allows it to thrive. And so we have built a temple here to care for the plants and animals that call this region home.
It is noble work.
Indeed. Indeed.
Are the...
Should I... Sorry. No.
Sorry to interrupt. Are the milky patches in that water meant to be there?
The water should be crystal clear.
Yes, well, there are milky patches that come and go now and again.
We have been concerned. We fear something may be wrong. But we are unable to tell.
What gives you the idea that something's going wrong?
Well, the water should be clear and the tree should not be shedding its leaves.
Do your histories record when have these events ever come into confluence before?
No.
Ever in singularity?
No, not once before. Not within the records that we have.
Right.
But nothing appears to be wrong. We have communed with it. We have spoken with it. It just speaks of pain below, but alas, we cannot reach its roots.
How does it define this pain? What is the specific, I suppose, metaphor or that it uses?
Unfortunately, we've not been able to find that out. The tree's age limits its communication, unfortunately.
As I have the staff, which, as you say, may be a cutting of the original tree, would it be possible that I might commune with it to see if the cutting grants a easier form of communication?
You are welcome to try.
Sure, right.
If you, Mr. Kirkin, if you can find out, see if you can help it to define how this pain feels or what's happening, can be very important.
So, as you are, the half-elf kind of motions for you to follow him as he kind of finishes feeding this what appears to be a desert kitten in his arms. He leads you back round to the temple, and we'll take a quick break there. We are running a little bit on. Oh,
I need to know all of that information.
Law heavy. Law heavy.
So we'll be right back after these special messages. There are no special messages. It's just our normal break.
Vincent Vega.
And welcome back. Again, Jade, take it away.
Okay. So, as Kirkin and Ilis go over to the tree down, look, we'll jump back. Closing in around 5 o'clock now to the three in the salt and sand, sand and salt. Should have called it the salt and sand. That flows better. Oh well.
That does flow better.
You could change it. It's your world.
Yeah.
It's
I'd
called
already written down
the
salt and
tavern what
sand.
they are in.
I'd already written down salt and sand, so there you go.
So, it's coming up to 5 o'clock.
Yeah, so I think actually about sort of 4:30, I'd have rounded the troops and suggested we head back to the ship.
Okay. I will say that note, as far as you remember, would likely be referring to this location.
Yeah, I was going to ask where that was suggesting. Right, so we're okay. It makes little sense to go back to the ship when we're so close. Okay,
Yeah.
So it's nearly 5 o'clock.
Yeah. So,
Right
just,
then.
sorry, I was just going to ask, just a question. Whereabouts is the inn they're in?
the inn they're in is about there in.
Right. What view, if any, if I'm on the highest point of the deck of the ship, do I have over the south of the island?
You probably you probably can't see this path because you've got the buildings here and the buildings here blocking your view. Because the ship's all the way up here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Sorry, Phineas, go ahead.
Phineas.
Right then, you two. I think we need to start making tracks.
Do we want to let the others know?
I think from where we are at the moment, it's so close. I think the three of us just go in.
What about your little friend? Could they maybe deposit a message?
Yeah, I suppose Morris can make sense to let people know where we are.
I don't want them getting worried and...
I'd have already sort of like sat back and eyes rolled.
Okay.
As I assume I've got the distance to
It's like 1,000 feet. Yeah, you should be able to just about. I haven't put scale on this map because I probably spent too much time on it already. So.
Oh yeah, over here somewhere.
Yeah, it's not 37.5 feet. I can promise you that.
Are we not in a model village?
37.5 feet is shorter than the length of your ship. So.
Yeah, I will. Transfer myself into Morris and find whoever's on board.
Morris flies over and you can see Klein, Bolkin, and Aldris, along with Proshka, on the deck at the moment.
Yeah, okay, I'll go over and speak to Klein.
Klein, you see Morris, Phineas's parrot, fly down to you.
He'll like land on the side of the ship.
Oh, hello there.
Do a little bow.
Oh.
Lunch.
Just let Klein know that the three of us are okay. We stopped for a drink. Going to have a talk with an old friend about the situation.
Does that come through as your voice or as bird talk?
I like to imagine it's communicated as like, down for drinks, entirely.
And
You've been around long enough to have.
Yeah. And so I'll kind of be like, righto, Phineas. let us know if you need us.
HR.
Huh?
I'll also let them know location of and the name of the Salt and Sand, and where we've been told to meet.
Okay. So, as you heading to the meeting location?
Yep, I'll Lack, why don't you just hang back a bit, try and stay out of sight, but in earshot if you can, just to make sure Captain Prescott and I will go and speak to my old lady.
Friend.
You're fine.
I'll just disappear into the shadows.
Okay, make a stealth check for me, please.
Good job he's competent in other ways, isn't it?
30 with a natural 20.
Who's lack? So, you head on through the tunnels. They're quite kind of inside. It's a lot cooler inside these caverns. They're open, large drapes of cloth up above, several houses set into the rock around you. You head out of this old, relatively unused passage. There's a large collection of rocks. You've got kind of the cliffs right behind you and the river right in front of you. So it's a nice secluded little area for a meeting. And what's your passive perception, all three of you?
15.
11.
16.
Okay. Lack in quarantine, you see a single gold coin sat on top of one of the rocks.
Phineas.
Hmm?
And I'll just sort of, do the weird gestury thing, but try and be really subtle about it.
I'll be looking everywhere but the gold coin.
Make a perception check for me, please.
See what's hiding. 7 with a natural 1.
No.
From one end to
Just
the
some
other.
rocks, palm trees, nothing else here.
I imagine quarantine, but trying to be subtle and then just like body popping and like, it's over there.
I'll just sort of do the noddy gesture thing. Not quite there. Close.
Yeah, Phineas, you can now see this coin sat on the rock.
Pick it up.
Who's the bird?
Where does that come from?
Make a perception check.
Can I get in on that as well?
Yeah.
Oh dear. 4.
10, not
Did
much
this coin
better.
just speak to me?
You two have no clue. It kind of came around you, it echoed around a little bit.
Who's there?
Who do you think it is, Zarut? You hear a shifting. you hear a shifting, and in a sudden flash, you see up on top of the rock this short, squat gnome with fiery red hair arranged into a pair of pigtails. She's kind of wearing a brown cloak and cover, and very clearly has a dagger on her hip. God blimey, it's really you.
It's definitely me. Oh, sorry. Yes, it's definitely me.
Yeah. Who's your bird? She kind of walks up and kind of sits on the side of the rock.
I'll kind of just check around, make sure we're not being watched. Make sure it's
Make another perception check if you want.
quiet enough that we can talk openly. Yeah, that's better. 16.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet. There's nobody about. You can tell the cliffs up above are silent.
Gabby, this is my friend and first mate, Quarantine Peyton Prescott.
So the rumours were true.
Pleasure.
You really did survive that.
I did. With some strange help.
Right. Next question. What the fuck are you doing back here? If Kai gets a whiff that you're back, he's going to get you killed.
That's why I'm in such a great disguise.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it couldn't be Zarut. He's not wearing half his gold on his chest.
Yes. And I was doing a bit of an accent.
She's going to burst into a giggle fit. Then kind of comes back.
Really, gold?
I was young and flashy.
Well,
Yeah,
at least your palate is sophisticated somewhat in the time I've known you.
Silver's far more classy.
Well, if you're his first mate, I can trust you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Gabby Twin, yeah.
Pleased to meet you, Gabby.
Also, I should let you know my friend Lack is around somewhere.
I've been insulted that I've been replaced.
He's better at hiding maybe than you are.
So, how did you know
She
I was
starts looking around at the cliffs. I watch every boat that comes in with the hope that, someone will come along. Can't really stand to be in the base anymore. And everything's been weird. 4 years after you disappeared, things got really strange. Start getting money from outside.
Cultists.
It wasn't from... cultists came later. We kept getting donations, and Kai wouldn't tell us where he got them from.
Mysterious benefactor.
Yeah. And then the cult showed up. She got us shivers. I don't like them.
You think things would change if the head of the snake was cut off?
To be honest, I don't really care. I kind of want to get away from this place, but
Well, I mean, I can, of course, take you anywhere you need to go.
It's not so much that. See, people have been going missing in the city.
Right.
And some of them are showing up in our new prison. We have a prison now. A guy decided to get one made.
Okay.
And then the cultists come along, take him, and disappear further into the caverns. And my brother's gone missing. Of course he has. I just sorted out passage up north. Dalanan was gonna get out of there, but no. And now that Kai's left town, the cult have kind of assumed control, and they won't let me in. Not anymore.
Okay.
You know Harry's gone?
I assume he's in... Oh, you mean Kai, sorry. He was talking about... He's been obsessed with unseating the pirates, and all of us keep telling him he's a fucking idiot for suggesting it. I don't know where he was planning to go. He wouldn't share it, but he's been using all these boats we've been getting given.
I find it a little ironic that somebody who's concerned with pirates is dealing with cultists.
Don't ask me.
They may be pirates, but we have a code at least. Sometimes it's more or less just guidelines, but you know.
A common saying.
Somebody had
reference.
Had to be done. Had to be done.
He will certainly find that the old idiom of honor amongst thieves holds very true with the pirates.
Yeah, that's what we keep telling him. It's like, I can't say I like pirates too much. Like, I don't understand the whole. Never understood the whole gods thing. It's a bit weird, if you ask me. But
no worse than this place worshipping a tree.
Nah. Big respect to the big as are. But no, it's just not right. Kai's gone loony, I reckon that new girl of his put this into his head.
New girl?
Yeah.
Just the one?
Yeah, no, he kind of he's been smitten with her. What was her name?
How cute.
I don't remember her name, but didn't like the look of her.
Race? Description?
Human.
Okay.
Definitely Acme. Couldn't tell you her name, honestly.
Well, we will catch up with Kashun at some point.
Yeah.
But we are here for the blades.
Right.
Some research to see what's going on, particularly with their alliance with this cult.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully to disrupt some of their operations.
And maybe in turn get your brother back.
That'd be nice.
So where are they being held?
Well, we've not really moved out of the old hideout. The guards never tried to remove us. It's too much trouble, really. They just stick to the upper floors, upper cliffs. But you'll never get in through the Doomstrider.
Is there another way in?
Two. But it really depends. Well, it really depends on how good you are at swimming.
I'm very good at swimming now. Amazingly.
Well, we did some expansion and found an underground lake in the cliffs. There's a passage that leads out to the sea in the north. But there's no real way out of the water down there. The old land entrance goes along the beach, the bare beach. It's still connected. We just don't really use it anymore.
Okay.
Because everything goes out by boat now, apparently. Who the fuck thought we needed boats when we was, smuggling stuff across the desert for just the same amount?
Okay.
Any guards on the other entrance?
Not really, but I've not been in there for a while. Can't stomach being around those cult guys. It's the milky white eyes I don't like. Gives me the creeps.
Yes, well, we have had our encounters with the cult.
That was 9.
What name are you thinking of? Cartoons.
Yeah, Cartoons girl.
Was this somebody I knew?
Nah, she came in about a couple of years after you went.
Right.
Can you describe her? Approximate age, hair colour, height?
Probably like late 20s, darker complexion. She had black hair, but she had a thing for headscarves.
Lily.
Yeah, that was it. Lily Barkham, that was her name. Yeah. Didn't like her. Always whispering in the guy's ears.
I think I like her even less.
What do you mean?
Just sort of open my shirt a little bit and show this horrendous scar.
Yeah, that's not one of those.
Well, that certainly means that Kashin knows I'm alive as well.
Told all of us that you were dead.
I very nearly was.
Said that Zara killed you.
I escaped. It's odd. Some entity spoke with me, kind of forewarned me, told me to run. I run. I had only one place to go, into the water. So I did, but I couldn't swim.
If it keeps you alive, it keeps you alive.
And I thought I was going to die. But then I found I could breathe. I gave myself to this entity. Pros and cons.
You seem to be doing well for yourself, so...
I have magic now, though. Pros.
You almost had me believing you for a second there.
No, I can assure you it's true.
So, I have an extremely talented crew.
No doubt. You always had a good nose for people.
Yes. Most of them. So, and we have been involved in some very serious fights, not just boarding crews and punching merchants. I'm talking serious.
Much fun as that is, yeah.
That is very fun.
You punch them, the coins fall back. It's great.
We've got our bosun Klein. He sometimes just hangs them upside down and shakes them.
Like to meet him, but no. Well,
I mean,
if you
saving captains is also quite lucrative.
Tell you what, you come meet me by the waterfall on the northern coast. You know the one.
Yep.
It's night with your crew.
At the
And
top
I'll see
of
about- At the top. They rearranged the pathway down a bit recently, so. And I'll get you guys down there inside. I don't think I'll come in.
No, you stick to what you do best.
I'll keep a lookout for you.
I'm assuming we're looking for another gnome with bright red hair.
Yeah, he's a bit of a dope, but I love him.
It's funny.
That's
how I feel about Klein.
Don't mention
The war.
Don't mention Gem cutting around him. He won't shut up.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll meet you by the waterfall. Look out for the usual. And she flashes a coin.
What time?
Whenever you're ready, but probably best after sundown.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
She nods.
Maybe when it's a bit later, when some of the other people around are preoccupied with other things.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this place is one for drinking away their sorrows.
Well, the front is, but the back, not many people stick around. Just moving stuff about and reporting in. That's all we used to do. Before the cult came in. Anyway.
Well, hopefully we can clear them out.
Yeah. See you in the night. She nods, kind of flashes a gold coin in her hands, and then jumps up into one of the palm trees, and in a blur, she's gone.
Do you want me to follow her, Captain?
No, Lack. That's all right. Thank you.
You trust her?
I'm pretty sure I do, but I'm just going to roll a quick. Yes, absolutely.
What did you get on there?
I rolled a 17 inside.
Yeah. Gabby's never really been much of a liar.
Yes, I very much do. Her story tracks completely with everything else we've heard about the Blades and the cult and Kai and Lily. And she genuinely seems like she just wants her brother back, and I can appreciate that. So let's head back to the ship, inform the crew what's happening, and I think a group of us will go casually to the waterfall tonight.
Let us head back then.
So, as you three are headed back, we'll jump back over to Kirkin and Ilas. This young half-elf who's reveals his name to be Levi, leads you through kind of the temple complex across one of the bridges towards the tree. It's like, you're welcome to try and commune using your staff. If you do learn anything, please let us know.
You are muted, Curtin.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're led to one of these. You're led onto this series of like wooden platforms. They're kind of up against the bark, but they're not like hammered into the tree. They're hanging with ropes and balanced on the tree.
Am I close enough to touch the bark now?
Yep, absolutely.
As Kirkin's getting in position, sort of, Eilert will put his hand on Kirkin's shoulder. Good luck. And cast guidance.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, staff in one hand, holding staff against his tree, and then other hand, bark. I mean, technically, it's a staff spell to use speaker plants.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm casting magic, so that's absolutely fine. So, yeah, that's what I'll do.
Make
Speaker
a
plants.
spellcasting check for me, please. You can use your guidance on this if you wish.
Spellcasting.
So, again, your spell attack.
I can't read. I'm sorry. Oh, Jeebus.
Oh no.
Lucky.
Yeah, that was a natural one.
You can have advantage because of the staff. Actually.
Thank fuck for that. Fuck's sake.
I'm here for the
That's
theatrics
11,
and the
No,
story.
better.
You can add your guidance to it as well.
D4.
Sorry, I keep forgetting.
Was she not supposed to be putting a proficiency on as well?
Say again, sorry?
So add a D4 from the guidance, and yeah, you get your proficiency as well, which put you up to 14.
14 plus whatever you roll on the D4.
Druids have no spell
Sorry, roll a
attack
D4.
spells.
So 16.
So that'll be a 16 in total then.
16. Okay.
Oh,
As you kind of
I swear to God, I'll get the hang of this one these days.
you tune in, but it takes you a little while. You eventually hear this really deep voice. It has been long since I have felt the touch of a sibling.
Comforting note, a sibling, not a cutting.
How might I aid
sorry.
you, young one?
Great one. We would know what ails you.
A deep pain in the deep.
Is it a pain of one eating the roots, or a void, as if there is no earth for your roots to grow through?
There are voids in which my roots grow. And though they do not draw, everything within is taken. They draw it out, draw me down.
Is there any way in which this one could aid you, Great One?
Go below, find them. I feel them devour. Stop them, young one.
I will make it my life's mission, Great One. And then I guess I end the spell.
The spell ends. You get this intense vibe of a giant just sleeping. It's just the feeling of something huge just sleeping next to you, gently and quietly.
Be nice and peaceful to be a tree. Yeah, I'll turn back to Eyeless, and I think we may already know what afflicts this tree.
Right. Something with teeth.
Unfortunately, I do not understand why, but they are also intent on attacking this tree.
While Kirkham was communing with the tree, was there any change in the agitation or the pattern of the milky spots?
Make a perception check. You're a little bit higher up from the water now.
Okay, that's fine. 20 total.
20 total, okay. You kind of look down and you can see it's kind of random. And every so often, you swear you see a small streak of dark red liquid come up with them as well. It's very occasional, very rare, but...
believe that you're right with the nature of the affliction for this tree. The little white, milky happenings. It seems to be a small red trail
Peer over
behind
the rail and
them.
just see if I can.
And I'll sort of basically point it out as it comes up.
I would not have thought that the tree would bleed red. Perhaps it is fighting back where it can.
With a tree of this nature, who knows? If we believe the stories, this tree's been here longer than, well, half of the cities have thought. You've just communed with it. Did you get the feeling of how ancient it was?
Unbelievably ancient.
Well,
And peaceful where it left do exist.
if you were a ravenous individual who's just been released after millennia of entrapment, what would you want to feast upon? Striplings like us, or something incredibly powerful?
You make a very good point.
I do believe that we need to inform the captain. Is that maybe
I concur.
we may be able to complete 2 tasks with 1 sling.
Indeed. Shall we speak then to the attendant and then return to the ship?
Yes, and I would recommend that he and his fellows stay out of the water. But lead on. This is your expedition. I'm merely here as support.
So yeah, not to freak you out, but there's like this elemental evil god eating your city's tree. But don't worry, we totally have it in hand.
He looks at you with confusion. You kind of step over and he's on one of the balconies and he has this. There is a collection of small beds with lots of little tiny animals all resting in them.
Oh,
It's very sweet. And he's kind of like going to each of them, making sure that they're all tucked in,
A buffet.
and snoozing away. And he kind of looks to you. What do you mean?
we have reason to believe that a enemy that is told in my people's legends has returned to the world. And from what the tree described, it seems that they have arrived here and had begun to feast upon the tree as a powerful being.
Parasite of some kind.
The worst
Yes,
kind.
I'm afraid so.
To some, they would be known as the Devourers.
He kind of seems a little taken aback hearing that name. I will inform the head caretaker at once. Thank you very much for finding this out.
For your people's safety, stay out of the water, please.
We'll do our best. We have our own reserves from before this began happening.
If those things latch on, they very rarely let go.
And he kind of nods and kind of hurriedly finishes what he's doing and then hurries up a set of stairs leading up to the top of the tree.
Oh, we've done what we can for
I think
them.
that is our mission. Yes.
So,
Right.
I'll say that as you guys are heading back, the 2 groups kind of run into each other as you're heading towards the stairs down towards the docks.
Phineas.
Good evening.
Birkin, Eyeless.
What are you
Captain?
two been up to?
paying our respects to the city's tree.
What a mighty fine
We
tree.
have news of it to share with you when we return to the ship.
Well, yeah, I think we'd best, Captain, I think we'd all best head back to the ship. We've got things to discuss.
Oh, the ship is on fire. No, I'm joking.
No, Zerut is on fire.
The route is on fire.
You head back. Balkan, how is your ship in order, first mate?
I would have been on my shell, just spinning around, looking at the sky, and everyone is just doing what they want.
Yeah. Proshka's looking at you, and she kind of wanders over, kind of stops you spinning, and then just pushes you as hard as she can, leaving you spinning really quickly around. And that is when you guys come back, finding Balkan on his back, spinning around like a top. Proshka's just laughing at him.
Captain, would you like to deal with this?
First mate, report, please.
I can't stop.
I go up and stop him. I put my foot in the way.
Roshka.
And I sort of
What? It's funny.
roll myself up.
I mean, she's correct. It is rather funny when he does that.
I everything is under control, Captain. We're having time.
Excuse myself, below decks.
I am looking after morale like you do, Quarantine, making sure everyone is happy.
It seems like you're doing a grand job, Balkan.
Sorry, just the intrusive thought. The intrusive thought that Balkan and Quarantine both complete their duties as first mate by lying on their back.
Yeah. Oh, I've also slept with all the crew while they've been away.
Captain, your first mate has discharged his duties with honour, if I may say so. He
may
also listened with good grace and wisdom to any advice that we may give, and he picked the best of the advice, leaving the rest to float away in the wind.
Yeah, so like that.
Excellent. Well done.
You found something about something, didn't you? I can't remember what you said. Like, oh well, no, it's not important now.
Well, shall we all go into the captain's office?
My office, everybody. Officers.
Yeah, just the officers, not the chefs and
essentials.
stuff.
Captain, darling,
Yes.
do you think Mr. Balkan deserves this? Can he help with a fish?
I think the 8 of us should. I think the 8 of us should all go and have a chat.
Yes.
I think that, of course, Balkan deserves.
Oh, without a doubt, if I may offer my opinion.
Of course. And he'll just sort of just angle it and sort of throw it to Balkan.
Yeah, I'll grab it in my mouth and then just.
Klein will kind of shadow the captain from the dock, basically, as in the real captain, Phineas, from the dock as we walk into the captain's office, simply because he is just disguised as a deckhand.
With a frickin' trident that I can barely lift.
Yeah. What is your strength, Phineas? Let's go and have a look at that.
Finny told me what to add to my inventory, and I did, and sent him a screenshot of it with +0.
Fantastic. Oh dear. That's tickled me. So, you head into the captain's quarters for your meeting.
I'm gonna go sit in my chair.
You were gone quite a long time.
Yes. As we were beginning our walk towards the caverns, I was delivered a message from an old acquaintance, friend of mine, who I believe to be a trustworthy source. So we hung around. Klein, I told you where we'd been, the Salt and Sand, up in the upper city.
Yeah.
Until the meeting time, in which we just had a conversation with Gabby. And yes, I don't think it's anything we didn't know, but the cult seems to be operating something within the caverns in some sort of prison, and people are going missing. And yes, the cult seems to be, I don't know, doing culty things.
People have gone missing.
Yes, I mentioned that.
Taken to the prison, and some not seen from again.
They definitely don't like Maddox people, do they? Right in the main city. There's not much of a guard, really, until you get to those steps. So it should be quite easy to walk around.
Yes. Oh, yes. The lower city here is all but slums. No one cares.
A little bit worried though, Captain. If your friend was so quick to see you.
I know, but that always was kind of her business to keep an eye on the ships. And
right, yeah.
We did work fairly closely for a number of years, so I'm not surprised she recognised me.
Well, maybe we should have gone to the secret dock anyway. That would have been better, then nobody would have seen us.
Yes.
That would require us knowing where it is.
Well, I've been in and out of there a lot.
Past life as a blue blade?
There was a captain, Lambard his name was, who used to come and pick up the gear. Yeah, bastard. Anyway.
Yeah, go on.
Perhaps once this meeting is adjourned, you and I could have a chat.
Certainly, Captain. What about?
We'll discuss it at the time. Nothing to worry about.
Okay, fair enough.
So, what's the oh, well, Eylis and Kirkin, how was the tree?
Mr. Kirkin?
Yes, Captain. I felt a need to visit a tree when I noticed its leaves were falling, and these leaves were the same that my own staff now sprouts. I found out from the attendants there that the tree has been ailing for quite some time. And when I communed with the tree, I discovered that its roots are currently under attack. It describes a void where the good of the earth is being pulled away from it, and things are attacking its roots. I believe the devourers are targeting the tree as a large source of sustenance as they return to the world.
In the waters surrounding the tree, there are milky white flashes where there should be none. Some followed by streams of red. I suspect some of our
cultist activity.
Yes, some of our toothed friends are gnawing away at the roots.
Yes.
You think it possible that the prisoners are also being fed to this entity?
I would probably say they're being infested with the small white worms.
Well, that is also true.
Well, my informant, I suppose, that we spoke to earlier, described the cultists as having milky eyes.
That fits with what we saw on the island with the golems.
We indeed have many things pointing to the same situation. But
perhaps we can achieve many of our goals. Did the Lord of Deepborn not request one of these infested servants whole?
We have been told we will be paid for as many heads as we can ship.
Right.
So,
how fortunate then that we have a number of empty boxes on board.
And perhaps we can rustle up some. Perhaps Brandwing can work out how to steal the crates. We don't want the cargo getting out now, do we?
No. So, we've been. We left my informant with. Well, she left us, I suppose, with a message to meet her by the waterfall just northwest of here after sundown.
A waterfall?
I suggest the 8th.
That's interesting.
Yes.
I like waterfalls. There's always something behind them, isn't there?
Yes. There should be. Don't you find it frustrating when you're in a game and you see a waterfall and you go try behind it, but...
Just bonk into the wall, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there should always be a secret passage.
I never bothered to put anything behind it.
Always be a secret passage to a dock or something.
Always.
Just a quick question, PM.
Yeah.
Going back to what Kirk and Iris were saying about the tree, especially Iris with the water. The milky white flashes, they don't remind me of the mer people we ran into before we had everyone else on board.
No.
Okay.
I will say, from Ida's description, the best way to kind of describe it is as though someone's mixed milk into the water.
Okay.
So, if the 8 of us wait until sundown, and then we head casually to the top of the waterfall to meet Gabby. She will then lead us to an entrance that we can take into the caverns. That will give us an opportunity to deal with a particular threat.
Are we going this rendezvous incognito, or are we coming in like our own very unique selves?
What did you say?
Do I need to cover the armor again?
Oh, at least, yes, we should just look casual until we get into the caverns.
I'll be remaining captain if anyone should inquire.
Yes. We can all just throw over some bland blankets or something as we.
What about? Can I keep the hat?
Surely we might be required, since we're going into the upper echelons of the city, that we might be better dressed.
This is my best outfit.
It's your only outfit.
It is my only outfit, it must be said.
Are we all going then?
I think so, Balkin, and I was just about to say if we do, maybe 2 groups. One stairs, one the other. Not all together.
Or,
as we make our way... I'm sorry. Sorry, Aldrich, go ahead.
And hear me out on this one. I know it's a bit radical. What we could do, to avoid all of this completely, is use the vehicle that we are currently standing in and go around the coast to the waterfall.
That would be highly suspicious, I think.
It was just a suggestion.
No?
Makes sense to you, Aldris. We always sailed around that way.
Yeah, like we always did. We'd go round that way, through the waterfall, into the dock, pick the gear up, hightail it back out, and no one was any the wiser.
Are you saying there's an entrance through the waterfall?
Isn't there always? I did say that earlier. You really must pay attention.
Oh yeah, that's what you said. So I've just remembered now. He went up to like where Lack lives, and he saw.
No, that was just to see if there were guards on the cave entrances. This is
what I
different.
said.
This is the secret dock.
Oh. Carry on.
Sir.
Perhaps the secret dock was used in your day, but I think with the cultists taking charge almost, any ships coming in there would be very suspicious.
Certainly be unexpected.
While this meeting's going on, can I cast the invisibility and then just sort of move to the corner of the room and just keep an eye out?
Yeah.
But of course, it's up to you, captains, to whatever you want to do. Sorry, it's a bit taxing on my brain having more than one captain.
Well, I think as we're creatures of the sea, it would be captodes, as in octopodes.
Oh, right.
I could be one of those.
Captish. It's actually captain is the singular and the plural kind of thing, like fish.
Right.
One captain, two captain.
We have many captain.
And Bolton, probably not the best idea out in the open to use magic, as it's not really looked upon in here.
It's not really magic. It's just changing my shape.
Right, yeah, but remember the last time you did that, and everybody from the dock wanted to try and kill you?
Well, that was their problem. That wasn't my problem.
Technically, you caused a problem.
Wow.
And they kind of tried to make it your problem.
Falcon, we talked about this.
Sorry, Captain. Oh, you're not the captain.
I'm not the captain. Pay
This
attention.
is very confusing.
Right,
So-
what time have we got to leave for this rendezvous then,
Anyway,
Captain?
are we going by ship into the secret dock, or are we walking? Just so I'm
No,
clear.
we'll walk through the town to the top
Right.
of the waterfall.
We can always bring the ship round later, I suppose, for a fast exit.
Could always do that, yes.
I'm pretty sure I remember how to get there now.
Good.
What waterfall?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's to the north, I think. West, maybe. Or was that a different island?
So, what is there anything else you wish to do as the sun is beginning to set?
Did I say anything with my sea invisibility?
No. you
Okay.
didn't.
I was going to have a quick chat with Aldris.
Yeah. Whilst everyone else is getting ready, you two can have a quick moment, just the two of you. And Lack, obviously.
I'll ask Lack to wait outside.
Okay.
Aye, Captain.
Ooh.
Aldris, this could be a peculiar conversation.
Aren't they always, Captain?
With you mostly, yes.
Yes.
I have a friend, I suppose. And
It's
I'll
always
sort of
good to
just
have
play
friends.
play with the descriptive around my neck.
Okay.
It's a rune stone with the pattern of a tree carved
There you
onto
go.
it.
It's very pretty.
I'm pretty sure. I'll quickly check it out.
This oddly contains the soul, the essence of an elf. that lived a very long time ago.
That's very strange, Captain, if you don't mind me saying so.
Yes. Now, whenever, and I can ask Orkana to come out of the stone.
Do I recognise that name?
Check. Make a history check.
Does that?
Your ex-wife.
That's 15.
15. Yes, we can provide more funding for the farming budget.
Something about farms. There's a budget. She wanted...
Farms, definitely.
She wanted more budget for the farms, or... I said we could. For definitely. Do that.
She was a botanist, I believe. So
Was,
farms would fall within her area of expertise.
Always after more money.
Aren't we all?
Absolutely.
But I can actually ask her to come out for short periods, and I can talk with her. She's been very useful consultation on a few things.
I would imagine so. Elves are known to be very wise.
Yes, indeed. Especially ones as ancient as her. Now, the last time I did so, she mentioned to me that she knew you.
Really? How would she know me?
Well, if you, like her, found, either on purpose or accidentally, some way to come to the future, relative to your own experience. You may have been born a very, very long time ago.
I am quite old.
Yes.
At least more than 10.
Definitely more than
10,000. Maybe.
Possibly.
Yes. Anyway. Sorry, Captain, you were saying.
Yes.
Always after more budget. Always. Of course, I always said yes, of course. Yes, we must have more budget for that. Same as for the warding. To keep them out. Or keep them in, rather. Got to help the giants.
Memories of times gone past?
Well, I like to sit and think sometimes, and most of the time it's completely empty. How about you, Captain? Do you like to sit and think?
I certainly do, yes.
It's always very
Really
useful,
empty.
I find.
Realised that the Soulstone actually has a typo on it that I fixed. You might need to reload your page to see the update.
So I wonder, do you remember anything of how you came to be on that island that we found you?
It's an excellent question.
Make a history check.
There was an island, was there? Marvellous. And you say I was on it? Ooh, 19. It's quite good.
Lombard.
Is it Lombard? I think I've got it as Lambard.
Lambard, it may be.
Lambard. Shithead.
Lombard.
Abandoned me. Just because I was... Well, you know, it goes, Captain. Once you're the treasurer aboard a ship, you can move the funds as you see fit. So I moved the funds as I saw fit. Some of them going to good causes, worthy causes. Some of them other causes. Unfortunately, Lambard decided that I was to be put off the ship and abandoned to die. I didn't want to die. So I decided not to. Also, there was the matter of the rations. Yeah, that was a mistake, probably.
How so?
Well, there were only so many rations, and only so many sailors. Unfortunately, some of the sailors decided I had too many rations. I pointed out to them that I needed them more than they did, and had in fact already eaten them when they threw me off the ship. That was possibly one of the reasons they abandoned me to die. A lot of them died, admittedly. But these things happen at sea. I'm sure you'll agree.
So you ended up stranded on an island.
Yes. Had to eat quite a lot of small furry things.
Did you live on that island for thousands of years?
I'm definitely not dead.
You're
probably
not.
The name Lambard is familiar to you.
Is it?
Phineas, yes.
Remy Lambard.
Vaguely recall one of the thieves employed by the Blue Blades having that name.
Oh. So this was... that name does ring a bell.
He's not a nice chap. Not like yourself, obviously a fine, upstanding gentleman.
Lambard, I believed, worked for the Blue Blades, which means it's likely that this happened within a short time.
It's possible, I suppose. He did leave me to die.
Yes.
I'm not very keen on it, put it that way. I would like to pull his insides out, wrap them round his neck, and shove them up his nose. If that's at all possible.
If we ever are in a position for you to do so, I am happy for that to occur.
Or if Mr. Lack would graciously allow me to borrow his skills, we could keep him alive for a long time whilst I do that. That would give me quite an immense amount of pleasure.
Interesting. I'm just trying to assist you with some memory. It's just when you say things about secret dock that wasn't there, I can't quite work out if it is there and we just don't know, or whether it used to be and this was a long time ago.
There was definitely a secret dock.
Oh, I very much believe that there would be. Or at least I would not be in any way surprised if there were.
Yes, we used to move goods in and out of there all the time. It's the perfect place. Nobody could see it. It's hidden behind a waterfall.
Okay. Well, thank you for this conversation.
This conversation, Captain.
Yes, it's just a conversation.
Did we have it yet?
Who is the comic relief? Is it Aldris or is it Vulcan? I don't know. I can't tell.
Yes.
Yeah, as Ash said, the answer to that question is yes.
Right. So, unless there was anything else, Captain, I'll go and get ready for the party. Is it?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Just smart casual, though.
This is the only outfit I have.
Slightly ragged.
Get you a new one, if you want it.
Well, this has served me quite well for a number of
millennia.
Yes.
Very much so.
So,
Thank you.
we'll leave it there.
I think that's
You guys,
my favourite characters ever because it's just so random. It's fantastic.
genuinely, like when I was preparing to set up the pirate campaign, and my dad told me about Aldris, I was like, fucking amazing.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's brilliant.
I'm really enjoying playing it, to be honest, because it just means I could just be completely. I could forget everything, and then make some shit up.
It's so perfect that you're doing the Jack Sparrow voice.
Yes, well, I thought you'd appreciate that, being pirates and all.
Yeah.
Before you end PM, I will just say that whilst that conversation was going on, I would have unwrapped what Hylas gave me and take a look at it. Ash has sent me the information for that.
If you're near your trident, you can hear it resonating with the occasional song that hums from it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So inside the little bundle that Hylas gave him, there is a note. And obviously, if Klein chooses to share that, I can read it. If not, we can leave it there.
Yeah, I think I'll just leave it there, and at the same time hand back the turtle whistle to him too.
Okay. So we'll finish up there as you guys are preparing to enter the Blue Blades base and see if you can figure out what's going on down there.
Indeed.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So hope you'll look forward to next week.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
And there we are.
Yes, indeed. Well, well played all. Thank you, DMJ. That was amazing. Huge lore drops, which we always love. We, of course, will be back here next Tuesday for episode many lots. And if you enjoyed watching us this evening, we thank you very much. We hope you had a good time. We certainly did. If you didn't enjoy it, the fuck are you doing here, man? Off you fuck. And I think that's about it for tonight. So have a wonderful week. We'll see you very soon. Bye bye.